Hi ladies, welcome back to the Feminine Universe. I am so happy to have you here. It has come to my attention that people are getting out more and feeling a bit more social than they have in the last year or two. So I thought a little guide from the enhanced femininity perspective on how to completely slay a date could be helpful to my little social butterflies out there. This is a great guide for first dates and newer interactions, but there are also a few tidbits that my married ladies and ladies in longer term relationships can use as well until I bring you your own specific content. So if you want my take on how to leave the jaws on the floor and leave him wanting more, I've got you. Let's get started. Step 1 is going to be to look incredible. We've talked quite a bit on this channel about the importance of looking our best. For a guide on that, I still stand by my always look pretty video for tips on looking our best for any occasion, including dates. So check that out if you haven't, or just for a refresher. When you look great, every move you make is cuter, every joke you tell is funnier, and every embarrassing thing you do is a little less embarrassing. You are simply viewed through rose-colored glasses, you get that halo effect and all of that, and I feel like this effect is just tripled when it comes to men. So how do you look incredible for a date specifically? If I were to put it in a nutshell, I would say put in effort. Remember the little rule of thumb I shared with you previously. Dress 20 to 25% better than what the occasion requires. In 99% of situations, I would say opt for a dress instead of pants and heels over flats. Wear your hair down if you can, lightly accessorize, don't do too much, and opt for natural looking makeup. Side note as we get started here, as much as we're emphasizing looking stunning, I also want you to be comfortable enough that you're not readjusting and fidgeting all night long. So create a look for yourself where stunning and reasonable comfort meet each other. Step number 2 is to make an entrance. Now, my loves, I want you all to apply this to life in general. Always make an entrance. Stop walking into places like you stole something or like you're trying to sneak in somewhere you don't belong, okay? You are a prize, you are a gem. So how do you make an entrance? You want to bring all of your confidence to the forefront in that moment. In your posture, your walk, your relaxed facial expression, all of that. You know you look incredible and you're comfortable in your own skin. That's the energy you want to give off. When you step in, look around the place and just take it in. If there's a gal next to you in great shoes, give her a quick compliment. Great shoes. Respond to the hostess warmly. Hi, Robert's party of 2, please. And she'll say right this way and give her a warm thank you and follow her. As you approach your table and you've spotted your date, give him a little happy brow raise, a small warm smile that reaches your eyes, and let that smile grow a bit as you get closer to him. When you arrive to your table, stand at your seat, which will be the empty seat across from him, say hi, and open your arms for a hug, which will give him a chance to stand if he hasn't already. Give him a warm hug and say something like, "So good to see you." Clearly, I recommend hugging on dates. I've seen people do the handshake thing. To me, it looks awkward and uncomfortable, and it sets the date off on a very stiff, more work-like professional footing. Remember, touch breaks down barriers. Plus, I know you smell amazing, so go ahead and awaken his sense of smell. After the hug, he's now on your side of the table and can pull out your chair if he intends to. If he doesn't, you're already there. The waiter may also do that for you, so give another warm thank you if that happens. Another tidbit when it comes to making an entrance is to try to arrive about 5 minutes late. Please note that I didn't say 20 minutes or 30 minutes. This is not some creepy power play about seeing how long you can make him wait or any of that nonsense. It's just about getting a couple of extra minutes so that you can make and he can see your entrance. Okay, so now you're dressed to kill, you've made your warm, confident entrance. What's next? Because no matter how good you look, just staring at each other in silence will get creepy after a while. Step 3 is to be a great conversationalist. Before anyone gets scared, this doesn't necessarily require too much talking on your part. We're going to spend some time here because I think this is where a lot of people fall flat. Like I always say, it is much, much easier to cultivate looks than it is to cultivate a personality. And as highly feminine women, we are not interested in being just another interaction. We are a memorable experience. Personality and conversation is where you can really cement this experience. It's a delicate balance though. You want to be interesting and show interest. What happens many times on dates is we treat conversations as a way to tout all of our achievements and qualifications right away, as if proving our worthiness. I want you to drop that mentality if that's a habit of yours. You are not trying to impress or prove yourself here. Rest in your feminine energy and allow him to bask in that energy. Think about it this way. It's one thing to show someone how great of a dancer you are in this look at my moves, aren't I so cool kind of way. It's a completely different thing to convince someone to come out on the dance floor, especially if they usually don't. Get them to let loose with you and then go home thinking, wow, I haven't had that much fun in so long. One of these is clearly more intoxicating and memorable than the other, and that's what you want. You want to get him to dance and enjoy himself, conversationally speaking. This is not an interview, it's a get to know you. And once you do that, he will find himself wanting to keep your attention and impress you because you're doing something that most people can't, which is connecting through words. I know specific conversations can be a little tricky. That's why I'm here. Let me give you an example or a little bit of a script based on a very typical conversation. If your date is on a weeknight, something like, how did today go for you? He'll say something like either intense or not too crazy. Either way, you can ask, is that how your schedule usually is? Or is that how your days usually look? And he'll probably tell you some days are a little bit of this, some days are a little bit of that. And at this point, he may mention what he specifically does. He might say, as an accountant, some months are crazy and some months are more calm. If he doesn't, you can ask, what industry are you in? After getting a response, you can say, have you always wanted to work in accounting, medicine, whatever it is? If he says no, you can say, oh, well, now you have to tell me what was the plan before this. This pivots away from something he may not be particularly excited to talk about and then allows him to share his passion and prior plan. Maybe what he's interested in if money wasn't the end goal. If he says yes, that his current position is what he always wanted to do, you can jokingly say, oh, so you're just the type that had it all figured out since you were in diapers, huh? Now he'll probably chuckle and say, something like that, I guess so. And you can ask, so are you just the type of person that kind of always has a plan going into things, or is that mostly with work? Then you leave room for him to share if he's the planning type more generally, or if that's just in regards to work and he's spontaneous otherwise. Again, you've pivoted the conversation to where he gets to tell you more about himself as a person and not just get trapped talking about work. We're all used to that conversation, so it doesn't spark any new part of our brain. When we're getting a type of conversation we don't usually get, it's more interesting and we're more engaged and pulled in. If you ladies want more specifics on making conversation in any social or professional setting, just type conversation tips and I can make a whole video on that. Step number 4 is to keep him on his toes. Up to this point, you've been polite and warm and mostly agreeable. Now this is where you throw in a little something fun to keep him on his toes. You can do this with a little playful teasing, being vague or mysterious in response to a question, mentioning a points or tally system that you're keeping, or sharing a story or fact that's surprising or that he doesn't know about you. For a little playful teasing, if he shares that he's the baby of his family, or for me, if a guy shares that he's a morning person, I'll be like, oh no, you're one of them? I gotta get out of here. Check please, something like that. For being vague or mysterious in response to a question, if he says something like, "So what's your usual type?" you can answer something like, "Wouldn't you like to know?" Or, "That's on a need to know basis for now." So you're saying it with a smile and fun, and he's not getting an answer. Now he wants to know even more. For mentioning your points or tally system, if he does something that you approve of throughout the date, this is somewhere in the middle where you have time to observe him a bit, but now he compliments you again. Let's say you're just talking and he's just staring and he's like, "Wow, you're stunning." Or he refills your wine glass, or he just does something that's charming and he's been doing a good job throughout the night. You can say, "That's point number 3 for you." And now he's kind of like, "Wait, there's points? Wait, what were points 1 and 2? I'm being scrutinized," but in that fun way. Forget what you heard. Contrary to popular belief, men do like games, just fun ones. And lastly, to share a story or fact he doesn't know about you, especially something that veers from your personality. And this works with new guys as well as if you're married and your husband thinks he has you all figured out. You throwing in a story, let's say like a middle school scuffle you got into on the playground or whatever it was. When they see you as like this girly, very soft, feminine type, it's kind of like, "You? Schoolyard shuffle?" It's a little incredulous and it's a little bit funny, and that puts in his mind like whatever vision I may have had of her, there's a little bit more to her than that. There's a different streak that can also add a little element of uniqueness and reminding them that they don't have you all figured out the way they think they might. Okay, so who pays? I've seen that this is confusing for some people. In my experience, both women who are leaning into their femininity and men who are leaning into their masculinity appreciate doing many things the traditional way, and so men pay. But if you don't want to make it a gender thing, the most basic etiquette says that the person who invited the other out is responsible for the tab. Typically, men ask for dates, which still very simply puts the payment in their court. And after he pays, just look at him and say, "Thank you. Everything was delicious. Thank you. Everything was lovely." If you choose to drink, whether from choosing wine by the glass from the menu, or if he's purchased a bottle of wine for the evening, either way, keep it to 1, maybe 2 glasses of wine for the entire dinner. Make good use of your glass of water in between. Keep the entire date around 2 to 3 hours. Basically the amount of time it takes to get from appetizers to dessert. Then you head home to your house by yourself, okay? No second location, no nightcap. Even if you are having the best time in the world, even if you think you've met your soulmate, great. I am so happy for you. If he is, he'll still be there next week, right? Okay, so nothing wrong with a little anticipation in the meantime. If you've enjoyed yourself at the end of the night, end the night with another hug and thank you for a lovely evening. I had such a great time. I had a wonderful time. If it wasn't so great and you're just not vibing, just stop at "thank you for a lovely evening." I shaved this video down quite a bit to keep it a reasonable length, but if you ladies want more on this topic or just socializing in general, just drop a love emoji or more tips in the comments. For my ladies in marriages and long-term relationships, like I said, I do have content in the works for you as well. I hope this was helpful for my ladies venturing back out into the social scene or the romance scene. Feel free to give your input on these tips or just really drop your best first date tips below so the ladies watching can always come back and collect even more useful nuggets from the comment section. Until next time, ladies, stay feminine, stay focused, and have fun.